Hello, today I will read Genesis chapter 38. In chapter 37 we saw that Joseph was sold by their brothers. By his brothers, um, and they came at Jacob with Joseph cloth, and they were sacrificed goat. They slaughtered a goat and dipped the robe in the blood. They took the ornamented robe back to their father and said, "We found this. Examine it to see whether it is your son's robe." And Jacob believed them. He recognized it and said, "It is my son's robe. Some ferocious animal had devoured him." Joseph had surely been torn to pieces. Then Jacob tore his clothes, put on sackcloth, and mourned for his son many days. Now we see that they lied, but they didn't lie with words, maybe. Or, yeah, I think with words too, but they said, "We found this, examine it to see whether it is your son's robe." To make a bad conclusion that they didn't saw it with words, so to Jacob. And after that they wanted to comfort him, they and the household, not just them. But no, he said, "In mourning will I go down to the grave to my son. So his father wept for him, because he loved him more than the others. Meanwhile, the Midianites sold Joseph in Egypt to Potiphar, one of Pharaoh's officials, the captain of the guard. Now in this chapter, it is not the next it is not continue the episode. It is a different one. So why that, I don't know. Look what let's read it. At that time Judah left his brothers and went down to stay with a man of Adullam. So Judah was with them or not, or maybe after that happened, I don't know. To stay with a man of Adullam named Hira. There Judah met the daughter of a Canaanite man named Shua. He married her and lay with her. She became pregnant and gave birth to a son, who was named Er. She conceived again and gave birth to a son and named him Onan. She gave birth to still another son and named him Shelah. It was at Kezib that she gave birth to him. Judah got a wife for Er, his firstborn, and her name was Tamar. We saw in the Tamar, Timnah, it's not from Edom, no. But Er, Judah's firstborn, was wicked in the Lord's sight, so the Lord put him to death. What did he do? I don't know, but the Lord, God, killed him. Then Judah said to Onan, "Lie with your brother's wife and fulfill your duty to her as a brother-in-law, to produce offspring for your brother." But Onan knew that the offspring would not be his, so whenever he lay with his brother's wife, he spilled his semen on the ground to keep from producing offspring for his brother. What he did was wicked in the Lord's sight, so he put him to death also. What Er did, I don't know, but Onan, look what he did. He didn't want to make kids with that woman. That was his brother's wife once, but he died, and that his child with her will be named, recognized as his brothers, even his brother, even if he was dead. It was a very, very weird thing. So we can make a conclusion: if you have a wife, if you are married and you don't want kids, it is something that God don't like, and it's wicked in the Lord's sight. So yeah, that's why you are marrying. One thing, it's not just that, but one thing is to give birth, to give up to another generation. If you cannot, because of physical problems, that's a different. But like like here, I don't know. Judah then said to his daughter-in-law Tamar, "Live as a widow in your father's house until my son Shelah grows up." For he thought he may die too, just like his brothers. So Tamar went to live in her father's house. Why? Why did he say that to Tamar? I don't know. He kept some laws with strictly, and why, I don't know. After a long time, Judah's wife, the daughter of Shua, died. When Judah had recovered from his grief, he went up to Timnah, to the men who were sharing his sheep, and his friend Hira, the Adullamite, went with him. Don't joke with people that are not God, from God people, because they are wicked, and look what happened here. When Tamar was told, "Your father-in-law is on his way to Timnah to share his sheep," she took off her widow's clothes, covered herself with a veil to disguise herself, and then sat down at the entrance to Enaim, which is on the road to Timnah. For she saw that though Shelah had now grown up, she had not been given to him as his wife. Why did she do that? We will see. When Judah saw her, he thought that she was a prostitute, for she had covered her face. Not realizing that she was his daughter-in-law, he went over to her by the roadside and said, "Come now, let me sleep with you." What? His wife died, and he was alone, Judah. But it is not okay to do that, Better marry again than fall into a sin. And what will you give me to sleep with you? She asked. So she is not free. She was not free. She wanted payment. I'll send you a young goat from my flock, he said. Will you give me something as a pledge until you send it? She asked. He said, what pledge should I give you? Your seal and its cord, and the staff in your hand, she answered. So he gave them to her and slept with her. And she became pregnant by him. Wow! 2 husbands she had. And she didn't have any child. But now look what happened. After she left, she took off her veil and put on the widow's clothes again. Meanwhile, Judah sent the young goat by his friend, the Adulamite, in order to get his pledge back from the woman. But he did not find her. He asked the man who lived there, where is the shrine prostitute who was beside the road at Enaim? He is by doing that he is disrespect himself. But they were not Christians. They were not God people, and maybe it was normal for them. Something like that. But even if there hasn't been any shrine prostitute here, they said. So he went back to Judah and said, I didn't find her. Besides, the man who lived there said, who was there? And said, I didn't find her. So he didn't came himself. He sent someone. I didn't find her. Besides, the man who lived there said, there hasn't been any shrine prostitute here. Then Judah said, let her keep what she has, or we will become a laughing stock. Yeah, it was something like that. After all, I did send her this young goat, but you didn't find her. About 3 months later, Judah was told, your daughter-in-law, Tamar, is guilty of prostitution. As a result, she is now pregnant. Whoa. Judah said, bring her out and have her burned to death. Whoa. He knew the laws, but look what he did. As she was being brought out, she sent a message to her father-in-law. I am pregnant by the man who owns this, she said, and she added, see if you recognize whose seal and cord and stuff these are. Whoa. She's joking him. She made already a revenge. She took the revenge and made her father-in-law to be a laughing stock, like that. Judah recognized them and said, she's more righteous than I, since I wouldn't give her to my son Shelah. And he did not sleep with her again. He was ashamed, and he didn't sleep with her again. When the time came for her to give birth, there were twin boys in her womb. As she was giving birth, one of them put out his hand. So the midwife took a scarlet thread and tied it on his wrist and said, This one came out first. But when he drew back his hand, his brother came out and she said, the midwife. So this is how you have broken out. And he was named Perez. It was very interesting that, like, Jacob and Esau were twins, and Jacob took the meal of Esau, but he didn't made this far like them, like Perez and then his brother, who had the scarlet thread on his worst, came out and he was given the name Zerach. Okay, it is interesting. And yeah, it is a different episode. That it have not almost no connection with the episode with Joseph. It is about another son of Jacob, the Judah. Yeah, if you are not protecting your moral laws, the moral laws, you can fall into weird things and complicated. Okay, may the God bless me and protect me, and if He wants, and give me, may the God give me light, enlighten me in the next chapter 2, and if He wants, you will see me there too. God bless you all and goodbye.